Okay, goal setting. It's really important to set goals, like short, medium and long-term goals, really important. If you're in running because you see it like a metaphor for life, and you know what you put in, you get out, the discipline, the motivation, the fitness, the moving forward, the self-development, goals are obviously going to help you get much faster towards where you want to be, as opposed to just kind of going through the motions, waking up. Some days you go for a run, some days you don't. So your goal might be to run X amount of times per week, 4 or 5 times a week, and to be able to do that consistently. Obviously, to do that, you need a plan. But if you've got to a point where maybe you're training towards a race, but you need something, and that race is 3-4 months away, but you need something mid-term in order to set yourself a goal, to know that you're hitting a certain goal, and therefore you're moving closer towards the pace that you want to run in your race, whatever that objective may be. And that can be really simple. You don't need to make it complicated. It can be a time trial. It can be just you on your own. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, whenever you need it to be, it can just be a time trial. It can be an interval session. A couple of examples that it can be just a 3K time trial. You might be training for a marathon, so you might be constantly working around marathon pace at the moment, and that might be like 6 minutes per kilometer for you. You might be trying to run a sub 4-hour marathon, but why not give yourself a little goal where I'm also trying to do the speed work, do the interval sessions, and trying to build my speed. And I'm going to go out in 3 weeks' time and do a 3 kilometer time trial, which is going to be part of my interval session. And I'm going to run that as fast as I can. Note the time down, note the feelings down. How was your body? How well did you pace it? What did you eat before? How long before did you eat? How did that feel, and why did it feel as it did? So it's probably feeling really fast for you, and you probably had to hang in the last kilometre. 3 kilometres, very, very difficult pace, very difficult distance to judge. But you will notice as you get used to doing that your marathon will improve, your 10K time will improve, your 5K time will improve, your half marathon time will improve, and your overall training will improve, because you've got benchmarks of what you can actually run 3K in, and you'll realize that the speed you're building will help your long run, will help your interval sessions. Another really good example, and I love this, and we do this often with people that I coach, is okay, we're going to do 20, we're going to build up to 20 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest in between. Rest being, get your breath back and focus on quality for the next one. So you've got 60 seconds to stop, get your breath back, and then go again. Maybe taking some liquids in between, but go again, yeah? 20 times 400 meters is a key session, whether you're an Olympic marathon runner, an Olympic 1500 meter runner, or you're trying to run your first 5K. So really, really good session to build up to. So you'd start with something, if you're starting from nothing, you'd start with something like 5 or 8 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest, or even more than that. Maybe 90 seconds rest to begin with to hit the quality. And then you try to pace that. So you try, and by pacing it, I mean that you try to be consistent throughout. So don't go too fast in the first 2. Warm up properly, make sure the first 2 reps are not a shock, but don't go too fast in the first 2 so that you're hanging on for the rest of the session. And then once that becomes normal for you and you get used to it, and 8 is no problem, then move on to 10. Then 12 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest, then 15, then maybe 18 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest, and then 20 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest. And as you're doing this speed work over the weeks, you'll throw in some 200 meter reps, you'll throw in some 250 meter reps, some 500 meter reps, some longer reps of 800 meters, 1,000 meters, so you're running much longer. 20 times 400 meters is 8 kilometers. So you're running as fast as you probably can for 8 kilometers with just 60 seconds in between those 400 meters. It's a really difficult session to get right. It's a really difficult session to pace. But if you can get it right, if you can pace it right, it's gonna improve your overall running. It's as simple as that. So it's a brilliant session to do. So you get a lot out of it. Like your biomechanics will improve, your speed's going to improve, your VO2 max is going to improve, it's going to hit your lactate threshold levels at some point. it's a great session to get right. But if you work towards that and gradually build up to 20 times 400 meters, do that gradually over the weeks, you're going to reap the rewards. It's a great session, and those are great things to do, to be able to set yourself a goal where nobody knows about, nobody has to know about it. It's just you and the road, or you and the track, and you're heading for it, whether it's 3 weeks away or whether you got 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks to do it, and it's on the way to a race, or whether it isn't. It's a brilliant thing to do. And once you start to enjoy those and get a lot from them, the fulfillment and the joy in running is just never ending.